Hello everyone, welcome back to the kitchen table. Today on the kitchen table it's a product review for a very nifty little thing I was sent in this envelope. But before we look at that, as is ever on the kitchen table, to help us digest the thoughts and the products that we look at, we're going to enjoy a beverage. And today, thanks to a subscriber who is a wine taster, the recommendation is this: Villa Maria Pinot Noir from the Marlborough region of New Zealand. The Cellar Selection from 2012, and I must say it's drinking very well indeed, so cheers. Fruity, definitely benefits from being opened a little bit beforehand. Wow, there's some massively blackcurranty stuff going on there. Right, those of you who've been watching the channel for a while know that I particularly enjoy being sent products that have been invented or come up with by people who aren't big corporations and who just basically have a drone like this and have an issue or a problem or want to come up with a little additional extra, and they have the wherewithal and the brains and all the cleverness that I lack to be able to go and do something about it. And so I was sent something from a very new outfit called buzzcam.co.uk from Peter. Now, he sent me a little item that might be of interest to those of you who've got the Vision Plus, or any Phantom really, but particularly if you've got one of the versions just prior to the latest one. Some of you may remember that the Vision Plus particularly, but sometimes the P2 as well, not the best in the world at getting a satellite lock. And one of the reasons for that, particularly in the Vision Plus, is that under here is a lot of extra wiring to do with things like the Wi-Fi sender and other bits and pieces, that it's been shown interference being caused by some of those circuits are kind of dampening the response of the GPS antennas in there. Now, there's been a few, I've even done one on my channel about moving the GPS cable underneath the existing shielding. People have been adding additional shielding in the way of sort of aluminium foils and copper foils and tapes and things and all sorts. So that's, that does cause an improvement. DJI themselves know this because in the latest versions they've put an improved shielding inside. However, for those of us who've got older Vision Pluses, or even perhaps a P2 from prior days, or even a Phantom 1, anything which has the GPS up in here, you can use this device that I've been sent to help improve the GPS reception. And here it is, the GPS booster. Now, what it is there's some shielding material in here that's been encapsulated, and it's onto this kind of nifty cutout. There's some layers on the top here, whether that's just a sticker or that's additional shielding on top, I don't know. But the idea of fitting it is very straightforward. It requires no tools except other than what you'd need to take the top off. There's no permanent fitting to this as well. It's a sort of clip fit, and it will not bust your warranty, of course, because you're not sticking something permanently to your aircraft. So let's have a little bit of a look how it works. Here's one I prepared earlier, as they say in the best traditions. So what you need to do, here's your standard original shell internals. What I've done is, this is the same mod that I've done, and I'll link to the video over there somewhere, where I've just simply taken the cable and rerouted it underneath. Now what you need to do with the booster is do that as well for the additional sort of security of it. And then as you can see, this booster has these shaped notches. I don't know if you can see those around the edge. One of which is quite a large chunky square one here at the top. That one will then fit, as you can see, against there. These others are shaped to fit where these little plastic strakes are in the shell. So all you need to do is pop these little bits underneath the fixing points for the top shell. I apologise, I'm trying to do this whilst I'm looking at the screen and do it properly at the same time, so I'm going to mess it up, so I just won't bother. There we go. And as you can see, these bits here fit into, you might just need to wiggle and manipulate, but they fit into the strakes on the side and give a really close fit. And that's pretty much it, you're done. Which means that to remove it is the simple reverse procedure of pulling it out and you're all clear to go. Now, one of the things that Peter said is that if you want a really sort of tight fit right up against the roof, if you've got a particularly packed bits and pieces, maybe you're packing something extra like a Flytrex or something like that, a bit of heat from a hairdryer, not a heat gun, a hairdryer will soften that enough so that it forms a shape and you'll be able to actually push it right in. And that's it. Then you simply reinsert the top, reinsert the GPS lead, and you should, according to Mr. Peter Thomason, you should have an improved signal. So we better test this out, hadn't we? So let's cut to some footage from outside, and I'll walk you through how I tested to see if this is any good. So here we are. Here's the Vision Plus. Now, what I've done is I've taken it outside to a particularly bad part of the garden near the house on the patio there, where I'm very lucky to get a GPS lock at all. When I bench test inside, I've got to take it much further into the garden before I can get a lock. And this is a cold start. This aircraft has not been switched on for several days. So I've just loaded it up with the GPS booster, which is a bit of a sort of a tough challenge for it, and a timer, and we've sat it there. It's in NASA mode. You can already see, look, we're down to just one remaining. Yeah, we're still one, and then double flash, there we are. It's got a lock in 41 seconds, which is pretty good. In fact, it's very good. I'm not sure I've ever got a lock that quickly before from cold, and you know, completely cold as well, not just slightly been switched off for a few minutes. This one hasn't been out for quite some time. So then what we'll do is, I thought, well, let's compare and contrast. We'll take the shield out and we will run it from a slightly warmer, because obviously it's got a lock. But here we go, shield out. Let's fire it up and we'll see how long it takes to get 2 green flashes. I want the first one, which means nose orientation, but for a fair test we need to get the double flash, the second green flash, which means that it's got sufficient satellites, that it's got a good home lock, and it's happy with that. So yeah, we just have to wait and a bit longer. Now this is, remember, this is slightly warmer. So there's the first blink. Don't get excited. We've still got 2 reds. That was the first nose orientation flash. We're still waiting for a lock. And it's just gone back to 3. Did you notice it keeps dropping between 2 and 3 red flashes, which means, you know, we're wavering right on the outside edge of sensible reception. We're in the same location. Nothing's changed, except I've just literally popped out that booster. And it's still going. We're up to 1 minute and 11. And I'm going to fast forward now because I was getting cold out there. And by the power of editing, we can do some fast forwarding. And you can still see we're going over 2 minutes now. And we still haven't got a lock in this part of the garden, which is not unusual, to be honest. And I'm starting to run out of willpower and frostbite. And yeah, I give up here. And we call it a day. So there we are. I was pretty darned impressed with that. As you saw, I couldn't actually get a lock at all, proper lock, in the same location without the shield. Now, yes, you can do exactly the same thing as this by getting your own materials and, you know, sticking things on. But, you know, if you're going to fix something permanently that's not been DJI approved, you're in danger of them declining any sort of warranty repairs in the future. This, I really like the fact that I've just removed that. If I've got more than one aircraft, which I have, I can even just buy one and transfer it across. I tend to open up my aircraft a reasonable amount of time anyway to do some sort of maintenance checks. But, you know, that's brilliant. Really well designed, really solid, effective, quite obviously. And I just thought that was great. You also get, which is a nice little touch, because he knows that, you know, you're going to have to open your aircraft up. You also get a spare set of stripes for it, which is double set, which is a nice touch. Although, to be honest, little pro tip here: what I do, as you've seen, very sharp craft knife, little slit down there. Don't have to worry about peeling and unpeeling. Look at that. But really nice touch that those come as part of the brand, and you also get a really simple one-sheeter of instructions, because let's face it, you've seen it, it ain't difficult. And and it just basically says peel back the grey shielding, put the wire underneath, and add this on. The guy Peter, who runs buzzcam.co.uk, has done some videos of his own. I've seen up there now that he's tested it with different varieties, different flavors of Phantom, and he's sort of shown similar results. So yeah, this looks like a really good little purchase for people who want that additional GPS boost. It's not really boosting it, it's more like shielding it from all the nonsense that you're getting out of this stuff and improving things. So, $6 million question, how many thousands of pounds is this going to cost you? Well, I'm very pleasantly surprised to see that one of these is being sold at buzzcam.co.uk for £8.95 with free UK postage. Even better value is if you're ordering one of these from anywhere else in the world, he will send it out to you for only an additional £1, which is great. And I'm so glad, because so many people absolutely take the mick out of us. It doesn't matter which side of the pond you're on. If you buy something from the other side, I know it's relatively expensive, but I send stuff to America regularly, so I know what the baseline cost is, and the postage and packing element. Some people do take, but I'm pleased to say that buzzcam.co.uk do not. So there we are, for under the equivalent in your local currency of £10. So we're talking well under, you're talking under $15 delivered anywhere in the world. One of these works really well, comes out really quickly. Invented by and produced by somebody who's an independent. What's not to like? So I hope you enjoyed that. That's the GPS booster by buzzcam.co.uk. And thank you very much for joining me again here on the kitchen table, and we'll see you again soon. Until then, cheers.